Hey everyone, back again, another video to help you out. This time I'm showing you how to take the radio out of the 2011 through 2013 Kia Sorento. This radio is being pulled from a junkyard for a customer who needs it. I would preface this video by saying check with your owner's manual or a technician to make sure that there isn't any kind of special code that you need to make this radio work in another vehicle if you're just replacing it with a stock one. If you're upgrading to a aftermarket one, you won't have to worry about that so much. But just double check to make sure that you don't need any kind of special code or anything. Sometimes they're found on the door jamb, sometimes they're found on the owner's manual, sometimes they're actually written on top of the unit itself. So just keep that in mind. The only tools I used were a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, an 8mm. I have this on a quarter drive ratchet, and that's pretty much it. If you're doing this at home, you can use a nylon panel removal tool. You can pick those up at Harbor Freight for a little bit of nothing, or you can take a flathead screwdriver and put some electrical tape around the end of it just to keep your dash from getting scratched up. So anyway, I've taken this all apart already to save time. You've got stuff to do and you don't want to sit here and watch me take screws loose. So to take this radio out, you need to start at the back of the dash piece up here, pry up on this. And this is all just held in with clips, but when you get this all pried up on both sides, slide it back and pull it out of here. You'll see that there's these little fingers on the end of this. I think that these slide in underneath the back of the bezel here, but they got broken off when I took it out. So saving you guys the hassle of accidentally breaking one of these little tabs, which doesn't seem like it really does that much since the back side of this all has clips that hold it down anyway. But I would start at the very front, farthest toward the windshield, and just pry up on that and then pull it away from the radio towards the front of the car when you pull that out. Anyway, take that out. Up here you'll have a Phillips head screw to remove, and then over here I thought there would be another screw, but there isn't. It's just a locating pin right here on the top half. Then down here I went ahead and put the vehicle in a lower gear. Obviously this car's sitting in a junkyard, it's not so big deal, but you can either turn the key on and move it down into a lower gear with the emergency brake engaged, or you can use the emergency brake and then pull this out and press down on the little tab inside of this and lower this down in lower gear. I pulled the shifter knob off. Literally all you have to do to pull the shifter knob off is just pull straight up away from the base of it in a straight line, and it'll just release. Now be careful, you don't want to punch yourself in the face with this. And then set it aside. And then underneath the edge of this, I just went ahead and used my flathead screwdriver and just pried up on this all the way around. And everything's going to fall apart when I do that. And I pull this off. This is just all held in with clips on the back side. Don't pull on it too hard because you've got a wire on the back right there that goes to the shifter display. I set that off to the side, and then I went down here on the bottom end and pried this little panel out right here that has the heated seat module switches on it. Pried that out on the edges. You'll see the clips there. Went ahead and unplugged this plug, and then there's a plug over here as well, and then this is just sits out of the way. And then down low here you'll have a screw there and a screw there. Now these are also 8mm bolts, so if you have a sharp enough Phillips head screwdriver, you can crack those loose with that, but if not, you might have to use an 8mm. These Kias and Hyundais are notorious for having really torqued on screws where once you get them cracked, they come loose very easily. But if you don't have the proper screwdriver, you can round it out or have a little bit of issues getting these loose. So take these two screws out. Be careful not to drop them down in there somewhere. And it's also key for the rest of this procedure just to make sure you don't lose your screws, because you don't want to have to go fishing through the dash for them. But you take those two screws out, and you can come in here on one of these edges or start up here at the top, and you can pry this bezel loose from around the radio. And you'll have one plug in here in the back that just goes to the light up here. passenger airbag light. So you don't need to unplug that. You can just put this to the side, and then you'll have this basic setup. You'll have a Phillips up there and there, and then on this side of the radio, here and here. And then, but you won't, I went ahead, for my peace of mind, I went ahead and took the heater controls loose too, with an 8/ Phillips head screw there, one there, one over here, and one over here. Now again, be careful with these, because it took extra work for me to try to get those loose, because they just would not come loose with a Phillips head screwdriver. I ended up having to use that 8mm socket. But once you get those loose, then you can just lower this down out of the way. You don't have to unplug anything. Then come up here and just get a hold of the radio, pull it towards you, and you'll have any kind of special numbers up here. I don't know if that is the reset information to make this work in a different vehicle. I don't know if that's the case here, but that's the problem for the customer. You'll have 2 plugs here to remove, that one and that one. And then you'll have a couple of plugs right here to remove, that one here and that one here, and then you'll just pull out the plug for the antenna, which is this one right here. On the green one, you'll just squeeze right here on the end, squeeze that and pull this out. For this one here, you'll just squeeze that tab and pull that one out, and then you'll have these 2 plugs here, which are pretty self-explanatory. Just squeeze that and pull that up. So anyway, if this helps you get your radio out, drop a like down below, subscribe for more videos. If you have any questions, leave those below too, and I'll help you as best I can. Appreciate your watching. Thanks.